Michigan, a lot of electricity, I believe, within that building. They are more than fine with everyone else being the talking points right now. That's fine. Talk about Ohio State. We're good with that. Talk about Ohio State. Talk about Georgia. Talk about Alabama. Talk about anyone and everyone you want to. But just, we'll be there when it's all said and done. We'll be waiting for y'all in November. I think that's how they feel right now in Ann Arbor. But even with that being said, they still have to decide who their starting quarterback is. And we got some more information on that heading into their first game against Fresno State. So here's what we know. It is down to Alex Orji and Davis Warren. Jack Tuttle, seventh-year senior, had a lot of momentum during summer around Ann Arbor in terms of like him potentially being the guy. Had some issues staying healthy, so it's down to those two right now. They are not going to announce a starter until like Friday night, Saturday morning. And when I say announce, like they're going to announce the starter to the quarterback room, and then I'm sure we'll all kind of find out at the same time. Just my gut feel on this. I happen to believe that we won't actually find out who the starting quarterback is until like you turn into like College Game Day or maybe even the game broadcast of Fresno State and Michigan. So that'll be a real good time. However, I don't know that we're going to have any clarity on this before the game actually gets rolling, or too far before the game actually gets rolling. Is my point there. So what should Michigan do when it comes to the starting quarterback? Michigan Wolverine fans, we've had a ton of y'all join the show within the last few months. Got a chance to meet a lot of y'all. We were out there in Houston for the national title game. If you have not yet subscribed, now is the time. Now is the time. Week 1 is here. Texas around the corner. Want y'all subscribed here so you don't miss a minute of the coverage we have for you. We appreciate you in advance for being a part of this and being subscribed. Whoever names the starting quarterback in this game, that's great. And then there's a lot of people right now that feel like it could be Alex Orji. He's got some momentum. The bottom line here is you should play both guys. And that's not to knock Fresno State, but there's a couple of reasons why. In this game, Michigan and their roster is good enough to just roll the football out there and win the game. Straightforward. Like there's not a lot more to unpack outside of that. So with you having a pretty good safety net that is the Michigan roster, there should be some confidence that these individuals are going to have a chance to kind of let loose, strut their stuff, and put their best foot forward. And it's one thing to win the job during practice, but like if I'm Sharon Moore, I want to see how these guys perform with live bullets, because you cannot replicate the 11-on-11 atmosphere you get in a real college football game. I don't care if it's a scrimmage. I understand Michigan's defense is real good, but there's something to be said for walking into the huddle as the quarterback and being the guy play in and play out throughout the course of a game. So it just gives you a better evaluation point outside of just practice. So that's massive. The other part of this, if you're Michigan, why not play both guys? Because you know who comes to town next week? Texas. All right? You really want to give them some clarity on, yeah, we're playing Alex Orji. Yeah, we're playing Davis Warren. No, make them prep for both guys. Cut their preparation time for Michigan's offense in half in terms of what they have to prepare for. If it is Alex Orji, if you're a Michigan fan, I think you should be encouraged. I think you should be encouraged because I'm assuming then at that point, he has played well enough to be the guy. And when I say played well enough, I mean played well enough at quarterback, because we already know he's going to be a guy that has a role for Michigan this year as their offensive weapon. He's going to have some packages. He's too good of an athlete to not have a couple of plays in the playbook for him. But if he wins the job, that means he threw the football well enough to win the job. I'm not just going to hand it to him because he's a good athlete. All right? Pretty straightforward there. So personally, here's how I feel about this. Where you can be definitive after this game, be definitive. I think it's best for a football team, for a locker room, to have somebody who's the leader, who they're following. Whoever you go with, empower him. Allow him to know that he's a starter. And it's not going to be a thing where, hey, week 6, week 7, through that bad pass here, we're going to give the other guy more snaps. Like, roll with somebody. In modern college football, I do not remember the last time we saw somebody go genuinely 50-50, have a 2-quarterback system, and have real deal success that Michigan expects to have. For Michigan at the quarterback position, you just got to be complimentary. You just got to be the change-up to what they are offensively. All right? Because they're going to run the football well. They're going to play great defense. If you're the quarterback, there's really only a couple of games where you got to be the elevator and you have to make something happen. That's Oregon. That's Ohio State. Like last year, J.J. McCarthy, he was the change-up for them. When they needed to push the ball deep, he was the guy. So what do you need, I think, is another question you have to ask here. How much do you believe you need to involve your wide receiving core. How many times does Shamaj Morgan need to touch the football? Fred Moore need to touch the football? That's another question I think you have to ask, because if you feel like they have to be guys that get somewhere in the range of 7 or 8 catches a game, well, okay, you probably go with the better passer. But if you're like, hey, we can get them 4 or 5 catches a game and just kind of have our offense be multiple that way, well, if that's the case, then you let Alex Orji cook with how athletic he is, and he's going to be a good enough passer, I believe, to make that happen. So for me right now, it's probably still too early to call. If I had to make a decision here, I think you go with the better athlete with Alex Orji. You double down on what you do well, which is smash mouth, run the football, move the line of scrimmage, and you get down from there. But again, Fresno State, play both guys. Play both guys, let them both get their feet wet, and allow the live bullets to dictate who should be your guy in 2024. The Hard Count is brought to y'all by our friends over at Game Time. Now, if you've been tuned into the Hard Count for any length of time, you know that Game Time is one of the good ones, all right? One of the good ones. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets this college football season. Make sure you buy the best tickets at the lowest prices guaranteed. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code HARDCOUNT for $20 off your first purchase. Couple of things to like about the Game Time app. You've heard me say this a lot. You know when you buy what you're going to be seeing from your seat. Some of y'all that have purchased tickets other ways, you know the sinking feeling of walking up to your seat and realizing your view is trash. You're like, I could have stayed home, watched this via broadcast, and had a better view of this game and enjoyed myself a lot more. That's not the case with Game Time. Know your view before you buy using the Game Time app. Also, if you find a ticket in the same section and row for less than what you paid for, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. That is the Game Time guarantee. Game Time also got something they're working with right now called Game Time Picks. I want to highlight that for y'all. Game Time will analyze thousands of tickets for all your favorite events, find the best tickets so you don't have to, and then you just get to choose the right deal for you. So Game Time essentially helping you make sure you have all the events you want to go to at the best prices and kind of serving that up for you, again, via Game Time Picks. So again, download the Game Time app, create an account, use code HARDCOUNT for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code HARDCOUNT. That's spelled HARDCOUNT for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices, guaranteed. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.